Hi everyone, my name is Amina and welcome to my YouTube channel. 大家好，我叫何明，欢迎你来到我的 YouTube channel. I don't know if you've heard about the contentious debate about whether students should be a circle or, a pointy object, meaning well-rounded or excelling in one specific area. Well, I personally think that I am a lopsided pentagon, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how I think being a lopsided pentagon helped me get into college and general tips for how you too can get into the college that you're hoping for. So feel free to subscribe, and without further ado, let's get into the video. So here are the schools that I got into, and if you see me looking down, it's because I have my computer in front of me. So I got into Duke, Georgetown, Columbia, UPenn, Stanford, UNC Chapel Hill, Loyola University New Orleans, and I received a President's Scholarship, which is $23,000 a year, University of San Diego Alcala Scholarship, which is $25,000 a year, University of Southern California Presidential Scholarship, which is half tuition, Tulane University Dean's Honor Scholarship, which is a full tuition scholarship, and then lastly, University of Miami Hammond Scholarship, which is also a full tuition scholarship. So for the first part of my lopsided pentagon is Chinese and my interest in global interaction. So as you guys heard in the beginning of this video, the second language that I introduced myself in was Chinese. And so I went to a language immersion elementary school where my Chinese teachers taught me math, science, social studies, all of my subjects in Chinese from kindergarten to the 5th grade. And I had an hour of English instruction a day. My interest in Chinese culture continued into high school. So freshman year I took AP Chinese and I received a 5 on the exam. And I also competed in Chinese speech and writing contest in high school, and I also did this in elementary school as well. For the high school competitions, there was a cultural Chinese talent portion, and so I learned how to play the guzheng, which is a 21-string zither. It looks like this. And I can play the saxophone, but it's very different, but I learned how to play that. And then in sophomore year, so my 10th grade year, I won the Midwest Region Chinese Bridge Speech Contest. And that meant that I was invited to compete in the International Chinese Bridge Contest in Yunnan, China. So another thing that I did during my sophomore year, or rather during the summer of my sophomore year, was I spent 6 weeks in Nanjing, China studying Chinese. And I did this through a program called the National Security Language Initiative for Youth. So this is a program sponsored by the U.S. Department of State. So I applied during my sophomore year and I was selected, and being selected means that it is all financially covered by the U.S. government. So if you are interested in languages or traveling, they have more than just summer programs in China, so I encourage you to look into it, and I will link that down below in the description. So other than my interest in Chinese, another one of my main interests is in global interaction, which is why in high school I participated in Model United Nations and the World Food Prize. So through the World Food Prize Foundation at Purdue University, I presented a proposal to prevent food insecurity, and I was selected as an Indiana delegate to represent the state at the Global Youth Institute Conference in Iowa, which is hosted by the World Food Prize Foundation. And my proposal that I presented to faculty at Purdue University was to create community and household gardens in the Thailand My La refugee camp, which is the largest refugee camp in Thailand, in order to enhance food security and then also foster improved mental health. So mental health is another thing that I really care about, and so I did another project which was at my boarding school, which focused on improving the educational environment for the Chinese international students who attend my school by helping educate teachers on Chinese culture values in order to foster improved mental health of the Chinese students. So as I just mentioned, I attend a boarding school, and the school has a large focus on leadership development. So that brings me to the next part of my lopsided pentagon, leadership. So I'm going to be talking about some of the leadership positions I held in my extracurriculars. So I was co-president of my school's Model United Nations Club and Black Student Union. I was also vice president of our Diversity Council. And then I was also the admissions chair, which means I helped market the school and then also facilitate tours through our student ambassador organization for prospective families that are visiting campus, similar to what many students do when they're looking at attending colleges. And then another position that I had, which is through my school's leadership system, is called Aide to Administration and Alumni, and it's one of the highest positions in the system. And what I did through it was basically I helped organize the all-school meetings that we had every other week, and I also served as the MC, so that means I spoke in front of the entire school every other week to help lead the meetings. And this also meant that I served on 3 different councils that helped advise administrators. So this means that I had a lot of meetings to go to during the week that helped keep me busy with my other extracurriculars. Next up, in my lopsided pentagon are test scores. So I think of the ACT and the SAT as something that can help get your foot in the door, but it's not going to open the door for you. So when I used to watch videos like these, I thought that I needed a 36 to get into the schools of my dreams, right? And so my sophomore year, when I took my first ACT, I got a 26, which, as you all know, is not a 36. And then I took the test again the end of my junior year, so like in the summer after my junior year, and I got a 29. And then I took it September of my senior year, and I got a 32, and I was more than happy with that, so I was done test taking. And so throughout that process, the test was the bane of my existence because I thought that it was going to make or break my application. I now know that that is not the case. So if you look up on Google a school's average SAT or ACT score, they're going to show you the middle 50 percentile. And so that means that 25% of the students that were admitted did not have that score. They had a lower score. And so I think that's important to keep in mind as you are, if you're stressing about the test. So it's important to remember that colleges really do look at more than just your test score, and this is proven by the fact that getting a 36 on an ACT or 1600 on the SAT doesn't guarantee your admissions anywhere. I think this indicates good news because this means that if you're struggling to raise your test scores, then you can focus on a different part of your application, make stronger, specifically maybe your essays, which is something that I will get into later. But in the event that you are still trying to raise your test score, I do have a few tips, which I'm about to get into, but first I want to give you my ACT breakdown. So I had a 32 composite, and then a 34 in English, a 32 in both reading and science, and then for my math, I had a 28. And as you can see, that is a 6-point difference between my English and my math score. So I took the ACT 3 times, and I was not focused, but I wanted to improve my math score because it was my lowest, but I realized that my efforts were better spent elsewhere. Because between my first and last time, so my first and third time of taking the ACT, my math score only went up 2 points. But for my English and my reading, my score between my first time and my last time, my English score went up 9 points and my reading went up 8 points. And so if math is not your strong suit like me, then I do recommend focusing specifically on English, and here is why. So English, the English section on both the SAT and the ACT is really just the memorization of rules, which means that you can get better through repetitive practice. And so I have a friend, her name is Emma, and she was really good at the English SAT, ACT section, and so she helped me prepare for it. She actually created a resource that kind of compiles a bunch of the rules and practices. And so she helped me review this the night before my test. As I was taking the test the next day, I noticed some of the rules that we had gone over. And so I found her and her document really helpful, so I'm actually going to link that down in the description below for you guys to look at. So I know a lot of people hate the science section, but if math is not your strong suit or you're looking for another section to improve in, I actually recommend science for the ACT because it doesn't require any science background knowledge. it is really essentially reading comprehension, which is why I think I got the same score on both reading and science. And it also is something that you can get better with through practice. There are only 4 or 5 types of science passages that are going to appear in that section. So if you practice them a lot and you get used to, reading those types of passages and then finding answers within them, then that's another part that you can practice to get better at. And so that's another section that I recommend focusing on. So the next part of standardized test scores are AP tests. So I took 8 APs in high school, and I don't think there's really that much for me to talk about for AP tests and scores, so I'm just going to put my scores up here. And so I really do want to credit my amazing teachers at my school, because my APUSH and AP Bio teachers, all of my teachers were amazing, but they really helped me do well on the test. And the 4 that I got on my AP Bio test, I am so proud of, because that class was very hard in my opinion. I am not really a STEM math and science person. So also, here's a funny little AP related side note. So last year I took the AP Language and Composition exam, and there was a writing prompt on the test that said, write about something that is overrated. So on the College Board exam, I wrote that standardized tests were overrated. And so in the moment, I thought that I was being very original, but after the test, I realized that nearly every person in my class and every student in the country wrote some variation of that same essay. So I can, however, tell you that my college essays were a bit more creative. And so if you guys are interested in me maybe reading some of my essays, definitely comment down in the description below and maybe I'll make a video. So next up on my lopsided pentagon are academics. So my school does not weight GPA, so I had a 3.94 out of 4.0, and my school also does not rank. But I do know that I was in the top 10% because I was in an academic honor society called Blue Key Society, but I don't think I indicated that on my Common App. And then I was also a merit scholarship recipient to my school, so it was a full tuition scholarship that I am very thankful to have received, because my school's tuition is more than many colleges, and so thankfully my parents did not have to pay that for me to attend a great school. Another couple of academic honors that I received was that I was on the Indiana Academic All-State team for both volleyball and track and field. And so I know I haven't mentioned sports yet, but I was on the swim varsity team for all 4 years. I swam competitively before high school. Last year I swam in-state on the 400 free relay, and then this year I also swam in-state for the 400 free relay and the 200 free relay. And our 200 free relay broke the school's record, so I'm excited about that. I also did volleyball, and so I was on varsity this year, but I began playing volleyball my freshman year, so I had to work my way up. And thankfully I'm 5'10" and I can jump, so that worked in my favor, but my friends will tell you that I am a little bit, coordinatedly challenged. If you throw a ball at me, the odds that I catch it are questionable. And so I also, since I'm 5'10" and I can jump, I tried track and field my sophomore and my junior year, and so I don't like running, but I was able to do high jump, and my junior year I went to regionals. And then also I had been dancing for most of my life, and so my freshman year spring season and my senior year spring season I danced on it's called Dance Vision team. The last part of my lopsided pentagon is demonstrating passion. And so this is purposefully a little bit ambiguous because it can apply to a lot of parts of the college application. And so the first part of this is through your extracurriculars. I'd recommend only listing the extracurriculars that you are really passionate about. I would say use your activity list to kind of show the things that you are passionate about and interested in. my extracurriculars all kind of correlated in a way that showed that the things I found most important really were Chinese, global interaction, and community. My next tip for demonstrating passion is more essay specific. So first, I would really recommend demonstrating your passions in well-written and creative essays. So the things that you guys are interested in, find a way to write about it and let the admissions officers know what you care about. And my next essay tip is about these why this college, right? These essays, okay? And so I'd recommend writing each of these essays as if the school is your dream school. And so one way that you can do this is by doing some extra research, looking at the different courses that the school offers and the different program opportunities. And what this is going to do is show the college admissions officer that you care enough to do extra research, and it also will show how you plan to take advantage of their school-specific opportunities. And this could also show the admissions officer, how you would best fit into their school. Because really the college admission application process, it's not just about how good of a student you are. This more, up in the air, toss-up aspect is whether or not they think that you are going to fit in their environment and thrive in their school. And if you can show how you're going to take advantage of the opportunities at their school, that's one way that you're going to be able to show that you would be a good fit for their school. Doing extra research on these colleges is definitely easier if you are genuinely interested in attending. So I'd recommend applying to schools that you actually want to go to and that you could see yourself being happy at, because the college that you go to is going to most likely be your home for the next 4 years. So it should be a place that you can see yourself thriving at. So thanks for sticking around to hear me talk about being a lopsided pentagon. And try to give you guys some helpful tips. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. And also let me know any questions that you guys have or any video ideas. My next video will be on where I had decided to attend. And with that, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.